In this part of the world where we have so many book clubs that have shut down, we need to address the issues so that over time they can be able to know how best to rejuvenate their network and be able to inculcate and achieve their vision based on opening those platforms. And so today I'll be discussing with you why many book clubs don't last, especially in this African concept. African nations, right? And I'm going to share with you using my own experience as a first class graduate. Hi, if it is your first time on my channel, my name is Mrs. 𝗟𝗏𝗦𝗃𝗓𝗡, and I welcome you into another episode of Life Unscripted. In Life Unscripted, I show you how you can become a student for life over school system or academic session in order to achieve optimum and sustainable success. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if it is your first time on my YouTube channel, or hit the follow button if you're watching from Facebook. And of course, we are going to have an amazing experience here because I share rare knowledge, not based on just information, but based on practice and result. So basically, why do many book clubs don't last? Now, firstly, I'm using my story as a first class graduate, right? There are a lot of people like me, right? When I graduated, of course, I read a lot of books and during my school sessions, right? And I graduated with a first class because I was able to put in the work. There is a point of hard work in making academic grades, great academic grades, but there is more. So I'm in the first class, but after I graduated with the first class, I was not able to finish a book in personal development the next year. And so it started diminishing, it started diminishing. I was asking myself when I was in school, I normally used to read. So what really happened? And so I now found out that my reason for actually reading is not sustainable. And so most of the time, many people are like me. They really read books for shallow reasons that is not quite sustainable. And that's why when you are so passionate about starting a book club because you love reading, you need to understand different dimensions of people like me who might come into this space to be able to build this attribute of learning or to build their dimension of book reading, because I can be your client, right? But I'm not your client right now because I'm able to scale through using a book accountability platform, right? So basically, you look at someone that is before now, who I am before now, who is coming to your book club as a client who wants to actually inculcate this. So why I have found out that many people who are very passionate about this thing don't sustain those platforms is because number one, our reason for study, even from a point of the person who are facilitating the platforms, have not truly built the habit of study. So what they do is when they come to book clubs, they just recommend books for you people to go and read. And then most of the time when you call them for book review, they will not come. Why? Because you have not actually practiced that you have been reviewed to. Most of us teach based on information, but I always advise that you practice before you teach. Why? Because if you become the person, it's easier to do when you have become. That's why the ancient pattern in your Bible will always say that those who know their God shall first be before they do exploit. So, first of all, we have not really become the person practicing the discipline of learning and developing the habit of study. Why I always say this is because even our models, which can be our parents and our teachers, we hardly see them read books even beyond school session or whatever it is. So truly, we need to come to that realization and to that truth that we have not really inculcated the habit of study. So when you now realize these key problems, you now know how to build a book club as a facilitator. So you don't just call people and recommend books for them. You need to understand that it is a habit first. It is an attitude first. It is meant to be able to obey discipline before it can be able to do that. Secondly, most of these persons don't have a process mindset. Most of us just want everything to work fast, fast. We just want to be leaders without being readers. And one thing that reading has helped me to do is to build more knowledge as well as patience. it is an activity to buy a book. It takes a lot of patience and discipline to read it and finish. I'm telling you, honestly. And so most of us, we don't have this virtue of patience that is also an attribute for successful people. We don't really take the time to study. Even when you were given projects in your university, you probably outsourced it to someone because of what? You don't have that habit to actually go deep on research. You don't have the habit of study. You don't have the discipline of learning. And so your mindset is all about you can outsource this, you can just get things done, and then within a short period of time, it will show result. And those things have actually been scamming you. So one of the things leaders who have these book clubs are meant to do is to actually to show its participants they need to develop a curriculum that helps them to build a process mindset because transformation takes time. Information can be an event, but transformation takes time. So, first, they need to be able to build a process mindset and be able to build the attributes that the discipline of learning and the habit of study is going to teach them. How many of us are willing to even buy the book when we are asked to? How many of us are teachable? How many of us can do that? That's why sometimes when you call them for book review, they will not show up. Why? They have not read that book, right? The book doesn't interest them. They want to watch movies. They want to do life the way they want. And in this and whatever that has to do with discipline, you don't do what you like. You do what is right. And if you don't like what is right, make what is right what you like. And so that way you will be able to do what is required to live the life that you desire. And so now that you are able to come into consciousness of this, one of the things you need to do as a facilitator and as a leader is to first but if you have to take a break and make sure that you have built that habit through your own process. You can now transfer that to a lot of people who have been like you. Don't just open a WhatsApp group, an online group in the name of, I just want to start building with these people. Even if you have that intention, make it a group of friends that are going to keep you accountable. You use it as an accountability platform, not to teach others to come for book review yet. So by the time you practice with accountable relationships, you can now be able to take a leap of faith to understand what your process looks like and find people who have this problem that you have already conquered to be able to help them establish more. That way, you can see that your mindset is coming from a point of sustainability because you now know what works and how it works for you. And so you can be able to replicate that and able to be flexible in the process enough to help them accomplish theirs. So three things I mentioned here is that people do not come for book review because they don't read book. And they did not read that book, not because they don't just like the concept of reading books, even when they even have it, right? But it's because they have not really installed the habit of study and through the discipline of learning. They don't have the patience to sit down and read a book. Some of them, they just want to do what they like. And this is not how life works. So secondly, most of them lack the process mindset. They just want to jackpot immediately. They just want things get rich quick. Immediately, everything should be fast. But people run without direction, and speed in the wrong direction is useless. It's a waste of time. And so we need to be able to start developing curriculum in those book clubs that help people establish this mindset, this habit, and this discipline first. If you need to see results, which is also going to be sustainable, because the more lives are transformed through your own process, the more it is easier for them to let other people come into the book club for the same transformation. See, people truly love you, but they love themselves even more. They love their destiny, they love their essence, they love their purpose, they love their children, they love their loved ones. And so whatever thing you want to do, you have to be able to do that from a point of true transformation, not because you felt like it or you have the passion to start reading books. And I've already been able to share the strategy with you. What inspired this content is because I went for a speaking engagement in an international platform of all coaches. And one of them actually started bringing up this problem. And when I address my own strategy, it was mind blowing. Everybody was interested in the process. This morning, I just got a response. See, this April has actually started on a very high note. And I hope you're taking advantage of what April means, which is a month of growth and renewal. You need to actually truly grow. You need to actually renew. Be always fresh in order to enjoy the springtime. All right. So it is time for you to actually blossom. It is time for you to multiply that which you have started already. And it's time to employ the strategy to not just become a student in the school, but become a student for life. Because life is unscripted. It only takes your discipline to pick up a pen and a paper to write or rewrite your script. And I hope that's why, even in Confident Global Champions, this is the strategies I use for Confident Global Champions. Trust me, they don't have to talk so much in the group, but they are engaging actions and they are asking the right question. That's why we take them through the process of 1 year, because we know that even 1 month is not enough for them to have that particular attribute. Because where they are coming from, we understand that it takes a longer period of time to unlearn than to learn. So we give them a period of 12 months with sufficient diversity in learning so that they can inculcate and install the habit of study. If you want to join us, type CGC in the comment section. The next cohort is coming on a full-blown moment, and you want to be part of the onboarding process, right? Because it's going to be crazy. We are going to drive clarity. We are going to show you how to be able to even start and be able to make progress for a sustainable success that you deserve. I still remain your friend and your go-to-get edupreneur, founder of the Confident Global Champions Network, Mrs. 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗙𝗏. And until I come your way again in the next episode of Life Unscripted, don't forget that it's time to live a life you are proud of and not the one people recommend. Bye for now.